We are back here on Girl Talk. Yes, our friend Ian has joined us. Custom audio video, my
Hello.
favorite place ever. I missed seeing you last month, so it's a treat to be here today.
I'm sorry, I was kind of busy. I couldn't make it.
I think that's a good thing. Sandy said that you guys have been extremely busy. I am
keep going.
thrilled
It's
to
good.
talk to you today because as an interior designer, we're going to be talking about something near and dear to me.
Yeah.
Two things, art and sound. I like both of those. Yeah.
too.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the new things that you've got going on.
Okay. You know, we do dedicated theatres and mixed-use spaces, and we never really know what the finish on the walls will be. Typically drywall, but it could be wood, there could be a wooden floor, there could be massive windows, so multiple reflective surfaces. And we've spoken about acoustics in rooms before, and there's various solutions. We can do acoustic panels, which are fairly plain. Usually it's a plain fabric that's over them.
Okay.
And the acoustic panel itself helps the acoustics in the room by, you know, cutting down on reflections off the hard surfaces.
Or like reverberations? Is that what it
that
is?
kind of thing, yeah. So sometimes the interior designer says, wouldn't it be really cool if we could put some movie posters in this room, or, you know, family pictures and things like that?
Correct.
So what we have on the wall here, there's two examples in this room, is an acoustic panel which actually has a fabric over it, and our picture, the picture that we sent to the company that made this,
and this is actually a picture from Bluffton, right?
yeah,
that Scott took.
This is at the end of Calhoun Street.
Okay.
From the dock there. The picture was printed onto the fabric, and the fabric then wrapped over the acoustic panel. So we're killing two birds with one stone here. We help the acoustics of the room as well as have some cool artwork.
Exactly, improve the aesthetics. What makes an acoustic panel an acoustic panel? In other words, just wrapping this fabric over, I guess, wood isn't going to do that.
So wood would be a reflective surface, and we already have drywall here, so it really wouldn't help the acoustics at all.
Okay.
There's a few different materials that are used. This one's fiberglass based.
That sucks the sound in? Is that what you want it to do?
It's, I mean, it kind of feels spongy, we'll say that.
Okay.
So instead of the frequencies hit the surface and bounce off, they're absorbed by the material. But there's different things that can go behind this fabric. It could be absorptive material. It could be diffusive material. In other words, it's like a very fine grid. When the frequencies hit that, they split.
Oh, they split. Okay.
You know,
I'm
rather
sort
than
of
just being
understand.
absorbed.
Yeah.
So there's a few different things that can be done, and it can be done all with this fabric.
Let me ask you from a practical point of view, because it's really funny. My mom and dad are living with me, and they're older. So everywhere I go, I am now in tune with acoustics.
Oh, good.
Because it affects how much they can hear and the sound quality. So I guess what I'm really asking is, in a home or in a commercial property, can you come out and help me decide where, how many? How does that all work?
Well, there's lots of things to look at, but typically
I just gave you that overarching question of like, wow, this is your job.
So firstly, you don't have to have an audio system in the room to utilize this.
Exactly.
You know, in most cases, we think about dedicated theatres that have speakers, and the speakers are at one side of the room and they face a certain way, so the obvious place to put something like this would be on the opposite wall.
Exactly. Okay, that makes sense.
And what's called reflection points on the side walls. And there's a few different ways to figure out where these go.
Okay.
But this improves the acoustics of the room whether you have that audio system or not. For instance, this is a relatively small room, and even when we clicked our fingers or clapped our hands before, we could hear a slight echo, And when we put these two panels on the wall, 5 feet by 3 feet, that goes away.
I was just going to say, is that really the purpose of these, is to just really make that sound sharp?
Yeah, it's to stop anything else that detracts from the actual audio you want, whether it be the spoken voice or music from speakers. So you want to stop hearing things that really shouldn't be there, and that's the reflections.
How many panels do you need? Again, is there a formula that depending?
There is a formula. Various companies say it should be this percentage or that percentage of the wall space. However, I think the best way is to start minimally, and then add on.
Grow.
You know, we have a theatre in our room, in our showroom here, which every wall is treated completely. You know, top to bottom, side to side.
Got it.
But in this case, it's a 5x3 panel, and these are effective. Slightly different situations though, but it's okay.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you come in, let's say for instance, I did want an art wall, and it was also going to be my acoustics wall. Would you be able to put, let's say, 4 panels?
Sure.
Would that kind of do this? So
yeah.
You can help me determine what I need, the size, etc.
Right. They don't have to be this size. We chose this size for the size of the walls that we have here. But they could be smaller. For instance, movie posters in a dedicated theatre. Movie posters, you know, typically that by that. You could have multiple movie posters printed onto the fabric.
I think that would look really cool.
So you've got, it really just looks like you've placed artwork. You know, it doesn't look like an acoustic treatment at all. Before
we get ready to go, does this have a name?
Sure. So the company is Kinetics, but the product is Acoustographics. So it's a combination of graphics and acoustics.
It is always fun to talk to you. I learned so much. We want to thank all of you also for joining us here on Girl Talk. Please have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.